A little mock draft here on UCSS for the Browns. We are 1 month away to the day from the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Browns don't pick till day 2, barring any trades. So we're going to use PFF's mock draft simulator to run through a few possible scenarios for the Browns. We'll see how PFF grades us, and if you're in the chat, grade the picks as well. I sent this out last night and asked you guys to send one in, but then we realized you can't share a login. So we're going to do this together. So are you guys ready to run through a mock draft together?
I am.
For the first one, G, I'm going to turn off trades, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to pick in all the traditional spots the Browns have: 54, 85, 156, 206, and 243. Give me 1 sec. Okay, you ready?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it.
The draft has officially started. On the board with who is left for the Browns at number 54. The top 10 prospects: Javon Bullard, a safety from Georgia; Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver from Florida; a defensive end; Adisa Isaac from from Penn State, Jatavian Sanders, the tight end from Texas; Jermaine Burton, the receiver from Alabama; Jonah Ellis, an edge defender from Utah; Rook or Horo from Clemson, a defensive interior lineman; or Jonathan Brooks, the running back from Texas.
Wow. I guess it's a matter of what position you think they most need help at.
So where do you want to go with the first
I'll
pick?
let you guys go first.
I mean, I did a mock draft on it. The first mock draft I did on Ultimate Browns, I took Jatavian Sanders. He's a hybrid tight end / wide receiver for Texas. He's just.
Those are the guys that are all of a sudden have a ton of value.
They just like the value,
hybrid tight end,
the
wide
hybrid,
receiver.
and you already know what Kevin Stefanski is leaning towards. He's like, I gotta have 6 tight ends. You got rid of old boy, what's his name?
Harrison Bryant.
Harrison Bryant, the
Raiders.
all-time
Signed
snap
with the
guy. That's what I took. But Pearsall is a guy, and the dude from Alabama has been moving up to.
That's the
Jermaine
one that,
Burton?
yeah,
Jermaine
Burton
Burton,
raises
yeah.
my eyebrows a lot.
You
You would have 3 Alabama receivers on this team.
I wouldn't.
You
I wouldn't mind. And you know me, I'm Operation Stockpile to the fullest. I needed another receiver.
Are we at a consensus at the position that they should take? I'm still in the wide receiver camp. I'm firmly in the wide receiver camp.
I wouldn't take a linebacker that high in the second round. I don't think everybody else is they pretty much restocked their defensive line.
Right.
They don't need an offensive lineman. I'm looking for another wide receiver to push.
Earl, are you in the wide receiver camp
I would
too?
take a wide receiver, but I'm not opposed to them taking an offensive lineman either, especially a guard. I think that when you look at the interior of the Browns' offensive line, Joe Bitonio and Wyatt Teller make a lot of money, but they're also aging veterans.
Yeah.
Solid players, good players, but not guys that I don't expect both of those dudes to be on this team, at least at the same time, for too much longer.
Right.
And I think eventually you got to start getting younger or kind of cheaper on your offensive line, so to speak. So if you can get you a quality guard or tackle, with your first pick, and there's not
So you're wide receiver, but you're also looking at.
But I'm also looking at the offensive line as well.
I would go with Burton or Jatavian Sanders.
So Burton or Sanders, Jay, who you want to go with?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Burton just because I'm intrigued by the idea of having 3 Alabama
Let's
receivers.
go Burton.
I like having blue blood college players
let's go
on
Burton.
my team. I don't like it when they go, off the board. And not to say that there's not great talent there, but the Louisiana Monroe guys have been playing against
the Western Kentucky.
Yeah, give me somebody who week in and week out has played against the best competition. And when you're coming from the SEC, I think the SEC is where I'd really like to live. The Big Ten, it's Ohio State and Michigan, and those guys pad their stats because they're playing a lot of below average teams. In the Southeastern Conference, I think the quality of football across the board is higher, so I'm always going to lean towards the SEC player. And I think, unless I can be convinced otherwise, I still think that we do not have the wide receiver core that we're going to need to have to win this division. I'm not in it to be, to be competitive.
So we took Burton with the first pick.
Yeah.
According to the PFF mock draft simulator, for our second pick at 85, Blake Corum's on the board, running back from Michigan.
Wow.
The running backs, Bucky Irvin and Trey Benson, Oregon and Florida State. You have Jeremiah Trotter Jr., the linebacker from Clemson. Michael Hall, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. Brendan Rice, son of Jerry Rice, the receiver from USC, if you want to double down on receiver. No guards, Earl, that really match up with the average draft position according to Pro Football Focus, unless you want to go with Christian Mahogany from Boston College, who I am completely unfamiliar with.
The Blake Corum thing is very intriguing to me.
Between him and Hall from Ohio State.
I'm going Hall.
Hall is a pass rusher. I think he fits the type of build that Jim Schwartz wants to have as far as a pass rusher.
Are we good at running back now? I know there were some moves made while I was gone.
Blake
Corum is interesting, but I think that, you already got 4 running backs on your roster.
But Corum's body type is what fascinates me. He's a low to the ground, low center of gravity, shifty, and he played in a great conference.
Yeah, he did.
And when he played Ohio State, he always had success.
I mean,
and he's going. That's a top-tier defense.
Oh, my goodness.
But if you look at the projections of the running backs this year, Corum might be the first running back off the board in the 3rd round.
And to think that he's still available.
And that's kind of crazy. But
I don't think he's going to be there.
If you look at that
I think
list
Jim
of players,
will take him out in L.A. if he's there.
Those list of players, man, give me Hall. Give me that versatile defensive lineman that can play inside, outside, that can come in here, be groomed under Jim Schwartz. And you get you another rotating body on that defensive line, because at the end of the day, football is still won and lost in the trenches. And, I would like to think that the Browns are still going to be playing meaningful football come December. So having more guys on the interior of the line towards the end of that year that's available to you.
I would take Hall. Now, listen, I'm not going to hate. It'd be tough for me to pass on Corum. Because to me,
he's the shiny object, isn't he?
It's like, because that's what happens in the draft. You didn't think he was going to be there.
Right.
And so if you don't think he's going to be there, you ain't even like having the whole conversation. All the other guys, you done had a thought process about.
You know what scares me, and I can't get this out of my head, was we drafted Peppers, and I was prepared to embrace him. I'm like, I used to can't stand that guy, but now that he's ours, I think I'm going to root for him. And then everything I saw from him, I'm like, this guy's horrible.
Nothing.
So who do you want to go with here, Corum or Michael Hall?
I think Hall for me.
I'll go with Michael Hall.
All right, next pick. It is simulating the next.
By the way,
64 picks.
When you it's easy to re-simulate these drafts. I wonder, out of 10 simulated drafts, how many of them would have Burton available?
Well, we're going to do 2 of these right now, so we'll see if he's available.
I'm just curious to see, is he a slam dunk to be available guy, or is he a fringe guy that might likely be gone?
His average draft position, according to PFF, was 53, so right around where the Browns will be picking. Roman Wilson, by the way, was the pick ahead of the Browns at 54 in this simulation.
I like him too.
All right, for the next pick,
I do
156. Michael Barrett, the linebacker from Michigan. You have a receiver from USC, Taj Washington. You have a safety.
Wow.
Pick a position. I'll tell you where some guys available. Most of these guys you're not going to
I remember Washington. Washington had a nice career at USC.
He did.
I'm surprised they would have him available in what round?
This is pick 156, round 5, pick 21. They say he should have been drafted 10 spots ago, according to their average.
Yeah, I would be if he's sitting there, and I know it sounds like, now you've got too many wide receivers. You can never have too many wide receivers. But if he's sitting there, which I don't think he will be, I would be tempted to take him.
What happened to the linebacker? Colson is number 25 for Michigan, right?
Yeah, Barrett was. I can't tell you what number it was off the top of my head. I can look it up.
I can't remember what number. I heard his name a lot.
Yeah, he. It's so funny. If you would have asked,
he was 23. 23.
He was number 23.
Do you think with Operation Stockpile, do you think that we're okay at wide receiver?
If we already drafted Burton, sure.
You do. So you wouldn't draft 2.
I ain't say that.
What scares me, guys? I know that we talked about this before I was gone, and I reached out to a couple of folks about Jerry Rice's kid, and I know the consensus is he's going to be a later draft pick. He just scares the hell out of me letting him sit there.
Pedigree.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Pedigree.
Well, he's off the board at this point.
No, I know he was, but he was still available with the 4th pick.
Last pick, correct.
So was Jeremiah Trotter's kid.
I know he was.
Pedigree.
I love Pedigree.
I like Michael Barrett. I would probably take him. I would take him at linebacker. You got another linebacker, Michigan linebacker, Devin Bush.
But this organization devalues linebackers. They just seem to think that they can get them anywhere.
Well, listen, hey, you're going to have to figure it out. You need 4 or 5 of them.
I think if you have 1 or 2 to me, it looks like that if you have 1 or 2 that can be standouts, I think that's all you need.
You can mask the efficient player.
And in the Jim Short scheme, you probably need 1 or 2 that's impact guys or standout guys.
I think we have.
We got that
2.
in Jock, and I think Jordan Hicks is going to come in here and be that other linebacker.
Okay.
And then the rest of these dudes will be rotational guys that, will come in, get these other guys a breather. But I just don't think that the linebacker position is highlighted that much in the scheme that Jim Short's
So can we come to a consensus with this 3rd pick for the Browns? 5th round, 3rd pick.
Linebacker, receiver.
Yeah.
There's a center on the board.
I don't think Taj Williams is going to be there. But if he is, I'm taking him.
Anyone else feel strongly, or should we put Taj Washington as the
Washington,
3rd
yeah.
pick?
Let's go, Todd.
By the way, I still think, I know that at the top of the draft, this is a foregone conclusion. I think they're getting it wrong.
Was Caleb?
Yeah, I think they're getting it wrong.
Me too.
Earl, you said you want an interior guard.
Give
How
me the
about,
LSU quarterback.
You
Jaden
like
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, huh?
I love him.
Earl, you said
Arm.
you wanted an interior lineman. You have Javion Cohen from Miami. A guard is the best available prospect on the board here.
Miami of Ohio
Miami,
or
Miami.
University of
No,
Miami?
Miami.
Okay.
The U. You got a center from Wisconsin, Tanner Bortolini. Andrew Coker, a guard from TCU. Or a bunch of other random guys. Depends on position. You have Frank Gore Jr. on the board, too, if you want another running back.
No.
Isn't that nuts? His dad just left the league a couple years ago.
We'll take that guard.
That running back.
We'll take that guard.
You take the guard?
He played pretty much throughout his son's college career. That's crazy.
He did.
That's
He
wild.
had him young, and he had a long career, despite what looked like a devastating injury that would have ended his career 25 years ago.
I mean,
And our last pick, G, give me a position. Where do you want to go position-wise for your last? The best available players are a tight end from Arizona, Tanner McLaughlin, Talia Tagovailoa, Tua's little brother,
No, the Browns aren't taking him.
no. man.
Rasheen Ali, a running back, Trevin Wallace, a linebacker from Kentucky, and then a bunch of guys who
Tagovailoa's coming out early, and he's still on the board in our mock at the 5th round. What is it?
And,
seventh round.
7th round. What is this kid thinking?
And he coming out early, but he was there 10 years.
Well, he had a COVID year, but he still had the opportunity to play one more
That's
year there.
crazy.
Sam Hartman, the quarterback from Notre Dame, also on the board.
Nah, we're not doing that.
That was the Pert hair commercial dude, right? The dude with all the hair?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, we're not going quarterback.
Hey, give me that tight end.
We didn't go tight end early, so we go tight end. All right, let's see what PFF gives us as our overall grade here before we talk a little David Njoku. Overall grade, we got a B- according to PFF. A B for the Burton pick, a C+ for Michael Hall, a B- for Taj Washington, a B+ for Javion Cohen, and a C+ for Tanner McLaughlin.
All right.
All right, B.
I like that. That's passing grade.
Yes, sir.
And
But
real
really,
quick,
the-
Jay, just because you asked, is Jermaine Burton there in the second reiteration? Jermaine Burton is still there in the second iteration. So that's your first official UCSS mock draft. We'll do that every Monday.
That's the guy I'm pulling for. I hope we get Burton.
On the second one, what's the biggest name available in the second one?
Chris Braswell, the edge defender from Alabama, who is the 37th overall rated prospect.
That's
Wow.
not a bad pick either.
No, that would be a great. I know that some GMs always say, we don't draft by need, we draft by best available. I always thought that was silly. Like, you have to consider need. You just have to.
Or because I always tell people,
Or you're the Cavs. You're stuck with too many of the same thing.
you lying to yourself. Because think about it like this. Say for instance, Michael Penix dropped to you in the second round.
Penix
Don't
is
even
also
do
on
that.
Penix is on the board in this situation.
So,
as well.
Wait, Penix is still there at 54?
On the second reiteration of the PFF mock draft. Yes,
so
he
you gonna
is.
take him?
My God.
You can't take him.
You can't take him. You
can't
you
take
can't take him.
You
But-
can.
You know you can't do it, Jay.
Listen, I know they won't.
But
I'll tell you,
the Green Bay
I would-
Packers be doing it.
I would tell you what, I would have to consider it because you'd have to trade DTR immediately.
Yeah.
You're basically saying that the guy you drafted last year is not who we thought he was. And we might have enough hay in the barn to make that decision.
Now watch this.
But man, I love Penix's game. I just don't think I don't think he's going to be there. Teams are too tempted by quarterbacks.
If Drake May, for some reason, start sliding like Aaron Rodgers was sliding,
Right.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
It's a conundrum that I can't imagine in a million years we get to.
I
this year.
can't. I can't.
We got